afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I am Bhavita Gopalchan. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news at this time, former Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez is today defending the former government's decision not to meet the demands of WASA workers. Gonzalez, who has been criticized by the PSA President Felicia Thomas, who accused him of trying to destroy the company while in office, says the former PNM government did put forward proposals to settle negotiations, but those proposals were not accepted.
The then Prime Minister explained to public officers that given the state of the country, given the fact that we have declining revenues from oil and gas, that their demands were not in sync with the reality, the economic reality, the revenue reality, and that what was being proposed to the union is what best the government could have afforded at that point in time.
Gonzalez says while the government has committed to moving forward with settling the 10% wage increase proposals affecting about 2,800 monthly paid WASA workers, the issues of back pay remains outstanding. And this, he said, is because the government cannot afford to pay out billions of dollars.
The UNC government promised the back pay and they promised the 10%. In some instances, they settled with the 10%. But the issue of the back pay remains unresolved because you are talking about billions of dollars to be paid to public officers and other employees of the state. And that matter has remained unresolved because, again, the government simply does not have the financial resources to settle these outstanding matters.
Well, during yesterday's protest action by the PSA, Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarit said efforts were being made by government to attract strategic investment and partnerships to improve WASA's position. On to some other news now. The Innovative Democratic Alliance says autonomy for Tobago has been stalled under Chief Secretary Fali Augustine. During the budget debate on June 25th, Augustine announced Tobago would be shut down on August 10th for a convention at Shore Park to discuss the path to self-governance. However, the convention never took place, and opposition politicians are now demanding answers. Describing the Executive Council as lost, IDA leader Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus says she's not surprised by this development. She claims the administration has a habit of making grand promises and not delivering.
The THA cannot invite Tobago to a convention and then disappear from its own invitation. This is not a minor scheduling matter. Autonomy concerns the constitutional future of every Tobagonian. If the date had to change, the responsible thing was to tell the people why, provide a new timetable, and explain how the promised community consultations would proceed. Instead, we have the usual pattern. When the executive finds itself in an uncomfortable position, it goes silent.
Now, neither Augustine nor Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner responded to questions from CNC3 News about why the convention was not held or if a new date is being proposed. Well, senior government officials say Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara did not breach protocol when he left the country last week. The officials say Guevara applied to the Police Service Commission for emergency leave and was given permission to travel. However, they have not said when he left or when is he expected to return. Guevara's absence has sparked a debate, with some claiming the TTPS has been left without a leader. But Deputy Commissioner of Police of Administration Junior Benjamin rejects that claim. Benjamin has not received a formal instrument appointing him acting commissioner. However, an official says he has assumed responsibility as the most senior DCP until Guevara returns. Benjamin has continued his duties, including signing documents and touring a new police post at the Eddie Hart Recreation Ground in Tacarigua yesterday. The official said under normal circumstances, the Police Service Commission would recommend an acting commissioner from its merit list to the president, who would send the recommendation to Parliament for approval. But Parliament is currently in recess. Now, calls and messages to Guevara and Commission Chairman Dr. Wendell Wallace went unanswered up to news time. And Tobago is relying on science to protect the Buccoo Marine Park and the Tourism Ministry. Stakeholders from the Environment Division, Institute of Marine Affairs and Tourism Agency toured the park last Friday, observing activities that may be in conflict with long-term conservation goals. IMA Research Officer Catherine Audroy told CNC3 News a recent survey showed 60% of Tobagonians depend on the marine environment for their livelihoods. Well, Director of Marine Resources Barry Lovelace said a plan is being developed to manage the park, and discussions will soon be held with tour operators to ensure compliance.
We are also having planning to have an engagement with the users, the reef boat operators, the water sports people who are. There are a lot of emerging ideas just popping up on the reef, and we are not against that. But what we are saying, it all has to be regulated and streamlined into a properly working marine protected area system.
Well, Tobago Tourism Agency Product Development Manager Wanda McAckering called for responsible behavior by all stakeholders, adding that the visitor experience must never be compromised. Let's take a short break. Sport news on the other side.
Great deals with PRW Back to School. Save big with a laptop starting from $3,250. Samsung A9 tablet only $1,199. Printers from $650. Smart TVs from $1,150. 27-inch curved monitor $1,399. Wireless headphones $240. HP and Epson inks available. Call PRW today.
Your Majesty, what comes after victory? Growth.
History's greatest rulers never stop at the triumph. They build what comes next. Finance your next chapter with First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
Cuts and scrapes happen at any time and place. And for many kids, cleaning the wound is the part they dread most. With Neil Cleanse Wound Wash Antiseptic Spray, you get gentle cleansing and antiseptic protection without the burning or stinging. Its antiseptic sterile saline formula helps cleanse minor cuts, wounds, and scrapes while remaining gentle on sensitive skin, so they can get back to what matters most. Neil Med Neil Cleanse Wound Wash Antiseptic. First aid cleansing with comfort you can trust. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Welcome back in Sport. TNT's Tier 1 campaign in the 2026 CFU Under-14 Challenge Series started with a hard-fought draw against Puerto Rico in Punta Cana on Monday. Captain Hashim Salandi gave the young Circa Warriors the perfect start, rising highest to fire home a powerful header in the 4th minute. Puerto Rico would find the equalizer in the 5th minute of the second half, but neither side could find a go-ahead goal in the remaining time. After the team settled for a share of the points in Group B, the head coach, Randolph Boyce, had this to say.
This is an area where we preparing them to be a national player. They are not national players as yet. You only get national caps from U17 upwards. So this is the stage where we help groom them and develop them into that, becoming that players.
The boys are currently in action in their second group stage matchup against Haiti that kicked off at 12 p.m. And captain and tournament MVP Samara Ramnath leads a list of 7 TNT women's under-19 team selected to the West Indies Rising Stars High Performance Camp. It is the latest reward for the young Red Force Divas who stormed through the recently concluded Regional Rising Stars tournament unbeaten and to the title.
Looks to advance, gets it past, they will get to the boundary, and Trinidad and Tobago will win this game.
On Saturday, TNT's Young Red Force Divas won the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Women's Under-19 Championship for a second time at Coolidge in Antigua. By Monday, 7 members of the championship-winning team were named in CWI's 22-member squad to take part in a high-performance training camp that runs through the end of August. Captain Samara Ramnath, wicketkeeper Jana Mohammed, all-rounders Brianna Haricharan and Amrita Ramtahal, middle-order batter Jessica Davis, and bowlers Shriya Jairam and Sayan Ramnarain have all stayed on in Antigua. It is just reward for a team which swept through the tournament and to the title, playing 6 matches unbeaten. But added to that collective accomplishment, TNT enjoyed individual success too. Ramnath was the chief bowler, claiming a tournament-leading 16 wickets and was named the most valuable player of the tournament. Mohammed was the best wicketkeeper. Team manager Nadra Dwarikat-Batiste attributed the preparation of the team to those successes.
Winning the Under-19 Women's Regional Championship was an incredibly rewarding moment for our team because this victory was built over months and not just over the course of this tournament. What I would say makes the management team most proud is seeing all of that preparation translated to performance. There was player buy-in into the process, they worked for each other, and when the pressure came, they responded.
Barbadian Ebony Brathwaite was named the best batter and Leeward's player Aliyah Weeks was named the best fielder. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95 or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Regionally, the Central Bank of the Bahamas is warning businesses and individuals against producing or selling items that resemble a Bahamian banknote or coins without prior approval. The bank says such reproduction, distribution, or use is prohibited under the Central Bank of the Bahamas Act 2020. Now, persons currently involved in these activities are being told to cease immediately, with enforcement action and possible prosecution for those who fail to comply. Let's take a look at our weather forecast. The Met Office says the islands can expect mostly hot and sunny conditions, despite a few partly cloudy spells with isolated showers. There is a medium chance of isolated thunderstorm activity, mainly over western and hilly areas of Trinidad. Seas are moderate with waves up to 1.5 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. The forecast maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 32 in Tobago. Well, thank you so much for joining us for a look at the day's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more coming up for you in our major newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great day.